Welcome to another episode of the Franchise Academy podcast. I am excited to have a luminary with me today. We're going to be talking about franchising in general. We're going to also be talking about the coronavirus and how franchises are dealing with that. So if you don't know me, my name is Tom Scarta. I'm a franchise consultant, and I match people with opportunities based on skills, personality, goals, kind of like the eHarmony of business is what I like to call it. If you are concerned right now about layoffs coming up because of the coronavirus, I might be able to help. We should have a conversation. I'm really going back to the Great Recession playbook, and we're really looking at businesses that can actually do well through a down economy, which we might end up having, unfortunately, for the next year or so. So if you want to chat, feel free to shoot me an email. It's tom@thefranchiseacademy.com, and I'd be happy to just fill you in on some of the do's and don'ts as you're thinking about franchising and whether it would be a fit for you. If changing careers right now is the right thing to do, we could talk about all of that. Today I have Dave Keil with me, who is the president and CEO at Franworth. So Dave has a great resume. I mean, as I said, a luminary. So Franworth, by the way, is a growth equity firm that partners and accelerates the growth of emerging franchise brands. So recently, Dave has been the CEO of the Lash Lounge, which is one of my favorite concepts. The founder there, Anna Phillips, friend of mine, and just a rock star and a great leader. Franworth offers, or I should say, Lash Lounge offers eyelash extensions and other beauty services, of course. It's locally owned, luxurious salons. I've placed people in that business in various parts of the country. They're doing really well. Ohio, Nashville, and some other locations. So Dave, I want to welcome you to the podcast.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. Happy to be here, man.
It's great for you to come on in the middle of, hysteria, pandemic style. And so I'm trying to not make light of it because it is serious, but you need to know the facts and really understand that it's kind of a temporary bleep. Temporary meaning it could be 6 months or so, but it's temporary, and we need to always remember that. So, Dave, tell me a little bit about Franworth and what you guys are, what you're about first, and then we'll talk about what you guys are up to. So, tell me about Franworth.
Sure, yeah. So, Franworth is, as you said, a growth equity firm. So we partner with emerging brands. That's really our sweet spot. We find that in the franchise system, you've got to have certain resources. Emerging franchisors, people like Anna Phillips at the Lash Lounge, who she had a great idea. That was the pioneer in lash extension space, was the first to specialize that, really on the cusp of boutique beauty. But she needed a partner. She needed someone, she knew that business deeply, had a few units open herself, but she needed folks like us to come around her with all the different resources required, things like supply chain, marketing, real estate, construction, franchise development, folks like you, to sort of wrap all that around. So that is what we do. We allow emerging franchisors to do what they do, whether that's lashes or boutique fitness or other boutique beauty. So they focus there. And then they partner with Franworth, and we wrap all of our systems around them to help them grow in a resource efficient way, right? Every emerging franchisor they need cash, but they also need resources. So we bring those resources, we partner, we're equity partners with Anna. And in fact, that's how I came to Franworth was that. I've got some experience leading 4 different franchise companies as CEO. The first one was Haagen-Dazs Shops, which is 700 units around the globe. One was Honey Baked Ham, so I got to be the first outside non-family CEO there. Later Pure Bar, so 520 unit boutique fitness system, all franchises. But then I found Franworth in the Lash Lounge when Anna reached that time that she needed someone to come in and help take the business side, the growth side, to go find people like you to partner, put real estate and other things wrap around her. And we were able to take that business from 19 units when I started less than 2 years ago. We've got more than 108 open. The business, right before heading into the pandemic was just smoking, Tom. Just doing phenomenally well. And so that's what Franworth does. We've got several parts of our business. There's part of our business that is focused on our partners like the Lash Lounge. So we've got a focus in really two areas: boutique beauty. So the Lash Lounge, we've got a partner in SCOA, Andrea, I think, founder of SCOA, that does facials only. And then Madison Reed. Madison Reed is a digitally native brand that their business actually is up 200% right now because they do hair color. So they've got an at-home hair color system that's just booming in the season we're in right now. And then they've also got 12 different units, and will be coming out to franchise very soon. In fact, the plan is to launch this summer. So we focus in boutique beauty. We also focus in boutique fitness. So Title Boxing is one of our brands, about 200 unit system. City Row, which is just a beautiful brand in boutique fitness. All of whom, and we can talk about how those systems are reacting to what's happening today.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are bringing on partners even from outside of franchising. So first of all, you have literally hundreds of years of expertise with Mr. Barr at Franworth, and one of my great friends, John Rachi, at Franworth. Who else? What's the big name that you?
Yeah,
guys
so the Franworth was founded by two. I mean, you're nicely called me a luminary. I wouldn't put myself in that category. John Rachi's our founder. John is a serial entrepreneur. Wrote a book, Reach, that talks about just his experiences. So John and David Barr actually met at the Unconference. You said you were just at the Unconference. They met there, and really these are two. John again was Entrepreneur of the Year for IFA. David Barr just handed over his gavel as chairman of the IFA multi-unit franchise, or himself and franchisee himself. So those two, David Barr, John Rachi, founded Franworth with a couple other partners from Title Boxing to create, again, the need that we found that I described before. But we welcomed Drew Brees to the team this last summer. So Drew Brees, the NFL, soon to be NFL, Hall of Fame, certainly leader in touchdowns and across the board, and just an unbelievable class person. Drew joined the team this summer. He is himself, you may not know this, but he's a multi-unit franchisee, Jimmy John's, a group called Walk-Ons. And so Drew joined the team, and John and I were just on the call with him yesterday, giving him an update and talking to him about some new things that we have coming on. And so he's just extremely supportive there. And you're right, Tom, we have 450 years of experience in our office, people that, just deep expertise, both in franchising, but also those functional areas that I talked about before. So that's who Franworth is.
So as a franchise consultant, I'm placing people in businesses, right, and I have to have a really deep inner feeling that it's a great concept that somebody could really thrive with. And I have a rule of thumb that says I would not place somebody or recommend a company unless it had 25 units open and operating successfully for more than a year. 25 units open for more than a year. But then there is a caveat. If there's a new brand like a Lash Lounge that has only 5 units at the time, if they're partnered with Franworth, I'll show it all day long, because I know that somebody like Anna Phillips, who's the founder, is smart enough to know that she doesn't know everything, and she needs the help of a Franworth. So now, once I know she is cradled and surrounded by this knowledge, then I'll show something that has fewer than 25 units. So what are you guys doing right now? So we're in the middle. Yeah. So today's March 20th, 2020, just to put a marker on this.
Yep.
March 20th, 2020, we're in the middle of what is starting to be a pretty serious situation in the United States. What is Franworth doing to help their partners through the coronavirus pandemic?
Yeah, it's a great question. And certainly something I've been doing personally, and we have been doing at Franworth here, nonstop for the last 2 weeks. So first I would say this is a great time to be part of a franchise system, Tom. It really is. I mean, our franchisees, I've been on all hands calls with all of our franchisees. So we get everybody together, all the franchisees. We've certainly been communicating, because in times of uncertainty, right, people want to know what's happening. Leaders like Meg Roberts. Meg Roberts is the current CEO of the Lash Lounge. She's got a great team surrounding her. The approach that she is taking, that we're coaching her through, obviously, is trying to take this stepwise. So we have 4 phases that we're guiding all of our franchise systems through. Early on, 2 weeks ago, I mean, time is going so fast, but 2 weeks ago we were saying, hey, it's time to get ready, step up cleaning practices, get yourself prepared. Then we realized that some places were going to close, so we just had a central repository of all the best practices from all of our 8 brands at Franworth, and we began cross-pollinating. I got the presidents of all the different functions or all of our different brands on the phone, and we shared best practices, created one central repository for those so we could share whether that's, hey, what's going on with SBA loans, that you can put those on pause right now, and we've communicated that, how to deal with your landlord, how to deal with, whatever it is that the local health departments. And so that's primarily what we're doing. We set up central repositories, cross-pollinating. And I would say the other thing that now that we're in the phase where many of our units are having to shut down. So I did mention before, places like in Boutique Fitness and Boutique Beauty, both just wonderful spaces before the pandemic, and certainly are going to boom after the pandemic. And so what we're preparing to do now is we're saying the franchisors that are going to be the most successful are those who are engaging their people, their talent. They're the people that work in the units and their clients right now. So that's what we're doing. We're engaging them. So at places like City Row and Title Boxing, we're providing free exercising at home. So free access to Title on Demand, City Row Go. We're providing daily content on Instagram TV for people to do bodyweight workouts. In our beauty brands, Andrea Scott at SCO is doing these daily facial workouts. Half that business is a beautiful business. Half of that's a retail business. So that stays alive. And so people can use it at home. In Madison Reed, we're continuing to stay engaged with our people and continue to strengthen the brand. At the Lash Lounge, we're doing at home, we're doing videos about how do you remove your lashes at home since people can't get into the shop. So I would say this is a perfect time to be part of a franchise system. You're not alone. And I would argue to be a part of a portfolio of franchise systems. So, we can do these, cross-pollination of ideas. That's what we're working on, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And to take it to the next level, you had mentioned the IFA, which is the International Franchise Association. Check out franchise.org. So I'm a certified franchise executive, CFE, and that is administered by the International Franchise Association. I want to bring it up because we have a lobbying unit at the IFA that is going to the government, and we're saying, we have 733,000 franchise units across the country, 733, almost 1 million units. We will lose 20 to 30,000 units in 2 months if we don't get some kind of financial help, some kind of grants from the government. So again, to be involved in the franchise world is really, really helpful because you have that support. And people don't, when I was a franchisee, I've owned franchises myself, owned and operated several units. And as I was a new franchisee, I didn't realize what was going on in the world of franchising beyond my little franchise. And it's unbelievable how great it is. And the IFA does a great job. They were updating us at a conference last week in Park City, Utah. The government liaison was there, Suzanne, and several other people from the IFA, and just giving us really up-to-date, literally hour by hour, what was going on in Congress with these bills that are just being passed this week that we're just learning about literally like today. So really,
yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, Robert Crisanti who's the chairman of the president. He was just on the Hill talking with President Trump, advocating for the franchisees. Yeah, I think one of the things, Meg Roberts, our CEO of the Lash Lounge, is on the board of the IFA, just got elected this year. John Rachi, our CEO, is on the board of the IFA. David Barr on the board of the IFA. So we at Franworth are very well represented. And we are using those. So I do encourage our listeners here to go and check out those resources. They can go to franworth.com as well. We've got a central repository of things that, just the new things going on. And I think today, individual, guidance on how do you, one, go talk to your landlord, go talk to your loan officer, even how to talk to your insurance carrier. So, right now, the pandemic is not covered right now in most people's business interruption insurance, but we also are active with and lobbying the insurance business to make sure that, there's a carve out after 9/11. That did happen. And and we're staying close. Most of our units are in Canada and the US. And so in fact, just this morning, we posted resources around that and what's going on and how to position yourself. So we're coaching franchisees to say, hey, track everything while you're down, document all the procedures that we guided them on before the shutdown. And so again, I think that is, again, part of the power of the people that want to be an entrepreneur, but also have just this support around them to guide them. Again, to your point, Tom, it's literally hour by hour that things are updating, and then we're pushing these things out to all of our franchisees.
Yeah, you guys are doing a fabulous job. What would you say to somebody who's thinking like, oh my goodness, when this whole thing is over, I'm not going to have a job? Would franchising be a route to go?
Well, I think it absolutely is, Tom. I think, look, I've been doing franchising a long time and love nothing more than helping put people in business. And we're very selective about with whom we partner. I mean, I know folks like you, Tom, bring us great candidates and we rely on that, but we're very selective about with whom we partner. And for the right individual, who has that entrepreneurial spirit, who's got a passion, for the area, who knows and wants some support to follow a system, that feel like they can go do that, but also have that local flavor, someone that knows their local market, someone that's got a passion in whatever that area is. This is going to be a time. I mean, sadly, we are going to have people from larger organizations be displaced. And I think this is a great place. You can be an entrepreneur, but you also can have the support of a franchisor and then Franworth behind you to support you in that way. So no, I think it's a great time. And I think, frankly, in past downturns, we've seen this happen before. And I think, coming out of it is a good time. I was just with our resources on leasing and real estate, and we will likely see some freeing up for real estate. I think leases after the last recession came down, double digits. So I think certainly coming out of this, Tom, I would say, I see this absolutely as an opportunity. It's going to be a tough couple of months here as everyone hunkers down. But what I'll tell you is our franchisors are right now saying, yes, we're planning on, how do we continue to serve our clients and take care of our employees, but also get ready for the boom that's going to come after, because people are going to want to step in and provide business. Particularly, you got to watch the category, of course. And I would argue that, so my counsel will be watch that category, but certainly places, the service businesses, particularly the one that we're in, van-based businesses and others it's a great time to get into it.
Yeah, I agree. And you had shared a little anecdote with me before we went on the air about Lash Lounge and clients still wanting to come in, even as, the virus was spreading. So tell me about that again.
Yeah, no, it's great. So I would say that my point about, Franworth's very selective with whom we partner. Tom, I mean, we have to find a great founder, someone who gets it, like the ones that we described, Helene Knapp, Amy Arrett, Andrea. I mean, all that. We got to partner with a great founder. We've got to partner at a great end market, a market that's going to be able to take the expansion that we're going to bring to it. And then third, great unit level economics. So we make sure those things are in place before we'll partner with anybody. Lash Lounge, all of these businesses, I would say boutique beauty is an area that is absolutely beginning to take off. I've had the privilege, I told you before, I was CEO of Pure Barre. So I've been the CEO of a boutique fitness, and that's been going on for a good 10, 12 years, the growth in boutique fitness, and continues to grow at double digits because people want community, they want specialization, and they want just some expertise. That same thing is now happening in boutique beauty. So the Lash Lounge is a great example of that. So people used to go to a beauty salon to get all their different services. And now what's happening is people want a different type of community. They want specialization, and they want that expertise at that level. So what's happening is the market is splitting into different sectors. The Lash Lounge is a great example of that, Tom. So yeah, even leading up to when local health authorities were saying, hey, you must shut down, we had solid growth across the Lash Lounge system. So people wanted to stay looking good. And the same was true with SCOA, our facial. So people wanted to come in and get facials. People wanted to come in and get their lashes done. Now, I would imagine a lot of our units will have to close for proper social distancing. It's the right thing to do. And we've got to do that to be responsible. But then we know coming back out, I mean, we're already beginning to say, okay, what's our book going to look like, and how do we get as many people in as possible? So, I mean, those are businesses that I think with that kind of built-in demand that will be strong when we're out.
And it's funny because a lot of people will feel like, oh, you know what? First thing I'm going to do when there's a recession is stop doing my lashes. And what we have found, I mean, the lash extension business was really not around in the Great Recession, 10, 11 years ago. However, what we've seen, like with nails and hair, massage as an example, is people still went out and did those kind of services. They maybe didn't go to Europe for 2 weeks on vacation, but they took care of little things for themselves to make themselves feel better. And I think that's what we're after here with the boutique beauty industry and the boutique fitness industry as well.
Yeah, Tom, if I could add, I do think, so Anna Phillips, the founder of Lash Lounge, did have her unit open in 2008. She just opened it in Dallas. She opened it at a brand new center. So it was the first ever eyelash salon. Starbucks opened up right next to her Lash Lounge, and then a whole bunch of other brand new. So it was a brand new center. 2008, 2009 hit. At the end of 2009, the only 2 units that were open in that center after that fallout were the Lash Lounge and Starbucks. So true story. There's a thing called the lipstick effect. That really people do want those affordable luxuries. Yep. They want to, take care of themselves. I think we're all seeing that today. Our businesses, we've been on remote work this week. I think we're all finding new ways that we need to work. And I think this personal care, I would employ everyone, take care of yourself during this time, make sure you're continuing to work out. And I mentioned a few of those free things you can do it. Take care of yourself, watch, Andrea online, watch Lash Lounge online to, take care of yourself. But that is something that people will always do, I think, even if we are entering a recession, which is they are going to take care of their bodies and they're going to take care of their health.
That's it. I love that. Great advice, Dave. How can people get in touch with you? Franworth, Lash Lounge, SCOA Facial, City Row.
Yeah, Madison Reed. Yeah, no, and Live Well is another one. One of our other brands is called Live Well, Canadian-based brand that does fitness for a different and older population. So another great system. Again, unique. It's going after the 80% of people that don't work out every day. And so just a beautiful thing, targeting our older population. The best way is to go to franworth.com. So franworth.com. On that site, you can then link into, you say, interested in the franchise, and then you can find your way to any of our brands that way, learn more about what we do.
Awesome. Really, Dave, I appreciate your time on this. And you could go to thefranchiseacademy.com and get that information on how to contact Franworth as well. If you talk to Franworth and the folks there, let them know that you heard it all on the Franchise Academy podcast.
This has been another episode of the Franchise Academy podcast. For more info, go to our website, thefranchiseacademypodcast.com. Remember to subscribe to Tom Scarda's YouTube channel for educational videos on franchising, education, insight, and inspiration.